Thank you for staying with us. It appears a collision course between the federal government and the organized labor over petrol subsidy removal is inevitable. The Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, has warned that it may be first to withdraw from the dialogue with government over strategies to cushion the effects the hardship brought on Nigerians by petrol subsidy removal. The NLC is angered by the decision of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC, to hike the pump price of petrol to 617 naira per litre. In a statement signed by the NLC President Ajaero, the union accused the government of callousness, saying its palliative measures lack transparency. Now, I think the Nigerian Labour Congress, they have the right to speak up to defend Nigerian workers and to do what they were elected there, perform their duties, because it's not up to 2 months now that we started this new price regime, and all of a sudden, Nigerians are not educated, they are not informed about the dynamics of this thing, that it might not be necessarily NNPC or the federal government that is fixing the news price, or we are going to find ourselves in even worse situation, because we predicted it on this program that we should brace up. It might even be more than this 600 naira.
Well, while a good number of Nigerians may not be aware of the implications of subsidy removal, at least to a large extent, there is no way you can convince me that Ajaero, the president of NLC, is not aware that when you remove subsidy, you've left everything in the hands of market forces.
Market forces, yeah.
No, Ajaero is talking about refineries. He's talking about refineries too.
No, let's even say, because I read his statement full of abuse.
Yeah.
The most childish statement ever issued by any NLC president that I know. Let anybody show me a statement that Oshomole issued. Oshomole had issues with Obasanjo now.
For a very long time.
And he sent us on a strike. There was no time that he issued the kind of infantile and thoroughly abusive statement that Ajaero is NLC president, but he has to realize that there's a level of maturity that should go with the job. There's a level of maturity that should go with the job. Look at some of what he was saying. That giving the impression that this is an extremely callous government. Government, even in advanced countries of the world where our people are rushing to now, labor confronts government much more than these ones do here. Go to France. You can barely do anything. Workers will confront you. So, what is it that he expects? The other day, they vowed that they will not join the meeting. Part of the childishness that I'm talking about, we are not going to meet with you unless you go back to the old price. When they saw that TUC had joined the meeting, with tails in between legs, they went to join the meeting as well. Ajaero has to comport himself, he has to show maturity. Honestly. And I don't know what is driving this attitude. Maybe it's his love for the Labour Party. Because when you show love for a particular candidate, show up at rally, show up in court, people won't be surprised about some of these things, some of these statements that are clearly not well thought out. Because even what he was talking about is already overtaken by event where he was talking about, there are palliatives, not transparent. Which palliative have they has been issued? That you are talking about lack of transparency. Even the 8,000 naira that was in the works. It's not as if and you are talking about that it's not transparent. Have they implemented it? What is your evidence that it's not transparent when it has not even been implemented? I mean, you read that piece of verbiage and you are wondering, what's going on? What's going on? Whether you call people for a strike, Abi, because that's the greatest weapon that NLC has. And Nigerians have seen over time, if they are not totally convinced about something, you just find, if he had called a strike the other day, do you think it will have succeeded? That last one, when they were saying all those things. We are as concerned as other people, and everything we say here, we are saying government, do something. But you don't go to the point of threatening, we will not, that the outcome has been premeditated. That the palliative, that they are trying to force workers to agree to something that they are decided upon. You can't say things that you cannot even validate by way of facts on ground. I'm just disappointed the extent to which it's going. This is now looking very much like, oh, politics is at play. Whether we like it or not. And I remember that Sanusi, the former emir, said it's going to be difficult to. He warned Nigerians. People can Google it. He said the first few months will be difficult. I said, people imagine that this man is a miracle worker and that he's an Aladdin, that whatever he just touches. No, there is no such politician who is an Aladdin. You are not a miracle worker. He will come, he will try his best. But to just dismiss everything like, no, it's not meant to achieve anything, this thing will fail. Labor is the reason that we have this problem with the refineries. Every time they want to sell the refineries, you will say, don't sell. Don't sell. They will think that they will lose jobs if they sell. What have we gained with those refineries?
Those workers, and we keep their salary.
We keep, and the refineries are not producing.
But workers are there.
And they're
traveling abroad.
They're receiving extortionate salary that you can only see in your dream. That's what they are collecting. Every time they say they want to do something about it, they say, no, don't do it, don't do it. One of the biggest mistakes that Yaradua made was not selling those refineries.
Mm-hmm.
I agree that the refineries, because they are not in the right, price of petrol will go up. Because freight costs alone, denominated in foreign currency, is one of the reasons this thing is this high. Then the value of the naira.
Yeah. There was $1 billion that was signed in 2001 for turnaround maintenance that had a gestation period of 18 months.
We've always had this turnaround. The thing that is shocking, even the one that was done in Kaduna just some years back, what happened again? You know, I've said it on this program before. Some of these people who work in these refineries,
the minister at that time, Timothy Receiver, gave us gestation period of 14 to 18 months.
They need to be questioned on why we do a turnaround maintenance, and in a few months, those things go bad again. Because I really can't understand. Like we have said, if you go to some of these companies that do this turnaround, especially Total, outside the country, you find Nigerians there. So if these people have brought down this technology to turn around these refineries, then what are we doing with all of those engineers who are working there that they can't maintain it? Because we don't hear of these sort of problems elsewhere. And that's why I keep saying, like BQ said, labor is a part of the problem. They should be able to offer us explanations. All these workers that you have there who belong to your union, what have they done and what are they doing to ensure that these refineries, they keep working? At least what they need.
Money that they are collecting.
Yes, that's why the kind of money they are collecting. What they need are parts to replace. That's what all of this is about, this turnaround. They bring in new parts, they replace the old ones. And then these things jack back into life. And in a few months, they say they are bad.
All the money that we are pumped into maintenance is just money poured into the ocean.
Into the ocean. So we have achieved nothing.
Even now, that kind of money, if we have it, we should be spending it on palliatives. They're talking about this refinery. Those refineries, now, they are almost
obsolete.
Almost obsolete.
And you compare them with what Dangote has.
It's not as if they are too old, though. It is because of poor management over a long period. There are refineries. There are refineries in the U.S. More than 80 years old refineries. so I think in North America, more than 80 years old, and it's still functioning today.
Oh, let me add that there is a deliberate policy
to make it not work.
not to make it work, so that some
is the
people
thing, so that
can be milking the country. Because for me, it is deliberate. How do you say
There's
you are
no
working
regime
somewhere
that we have had in the last 20 years that did not commit money to turn around.
So
Yet there's no result. You can imagine Kaduna Refinery refining just 50 million liters of PMS in a whole year. That is even less than our consumption for a whole day.
That means the government must take a stand on this refinery.
Exactly the point. You know,
when the man wanted to take the stand, they stood up. Obasanjo was going to sell this to Tesla and others.
Yes.
You know, the new government came because of pressure. They reversed the transaction.
What should be done?
So where are we now?
Because if a Dangote has bought one of those refineries,
he
won't be building the new one.
This one.
He won't. He won't go through that process. It will just be a matter of modernizing it. And until that happens,
I think you need petrol to what...
we are going to be where we are.
Are you saying Nigerian Labour Congress should not act, should not perform their role at this time?
Who says they should not perform? Even me, I'm performing the role for them.
You know,
I'm performing the role for them. I came here on Thursday. I came here on Sunday. Yesterday, I was here to talk about the welfare of our people. Are they doing it better than me? They are not even doing it better than me. No one is saying, it is not by writing abusive press statement, childish press statement. That's not how you defend the interests of workers.
Actually, even if you look at...
We have refineries that are not working. You are saying they should not privatize them. Refineries that people are using as conduit to steal us blind. You are saying they should not touch them. They should keep them there. And we are not getting anything from the refineries. Does it make sense for a refinery, one of the most modern refineries that we have, to produce only 50 million liters in 1 year? Does it make sense to you? No, we are not seeing this now. Government says, okay, let's have palliatives. You sit down with government. Stop this head banging on the wall. The other day, why didn't TUC think like them? Is TUC not part of Labour?
Much more mature.
TUC didn't think like them. And TUC said, we will negotiate with government. They got into the meeting. When they saw that, TUC will take all the credit if something good comes out of it. The next thing, they went back into the same meeting that they said they will no longer attend. So how many times does Ajaero want to behave like this? Yeah, that is the point. Nobody is saying NLC, don't. I'm even fighting for the rights of workers here. As far as I'm concerned, that's what I'm doing.
Waiting. Thank you for staying with us. Let's go ahead. Louis.
Good evening.
Okay.
Gajide, thank you so much. Thank you for what you are doing. Thank you for you and your team. So I just want to suggest, I can hear you now. I just want to suggest, I think if we government should spend the palliative on the electricity, so that, because that is where everybody, whether you are rich or poor, will benefit from. Or if you buy buses will be, there will be breakdown, which means that we have to start repairing the buses. But you make sure electricity is available for everybody to use. You find out that people will have enough job.
Only to buy petrol.
The rest of them, they will have all these things available for them. That will reduce the issue people normally have.
Right.
Thank you, Louis.
Very right.
Thank you for your contribution.
That I'm making has to be clear. You cannot dismiss the efforts of government even before you start down with them. You say, no, they are this thing, they are the callous government, we will not attend, we will not waste our time at meetings where they have already decided what they wanted to do. If this government is a government that simply decides what it wants to do, will it reverse a decision that it has taken? And it's not the first time. It has already said it's a listening government. Now, come up with your own ideas.
And let's see.
TUC said they want 200. In fact, before NLC asked for salary increase, Asiwaju already said there must be. He told governors when they visited him that there must be salary increase for workers. So it's not even, he's already helping you to do the job as NLC president.
But I'm not shocked. And the reason is this. When there was that fight, in-house fight in NLC, if you go back and read those things Ajaero said, you won't be shocked that is behaving this way.
No, I'm not sure.
Not because it's clear that it's always on the offensive without first sitting down to weigh positions. Because that in-house
And you are
fight
right.
within the NLC.
The decision to go after you told Nigerians that you will not negotiate with them again unless they revert back to the old price. Why did you go back to meet with them?
Because he knew it was.
He knew that TUC was going, and TUC will take all the credit. So you must weigh your words.
And finally,